Welcome back, race fans, to the tunnel turn, where things can get a little hairy.
And that's the way we live.
Oh yes, especially at Bristol.
Bristol, baby.
I'm Phil. This is the birthday girl, Christina.
You know my birthday is over.
Yeah, but that's okay, because it's still the weekend, like you said.
I did?
Yeah, he said it's Bristol weekend.
All good things must come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you liked our videos up to this point, or you've been for the ride, keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. Bring in new peeps. We always love new people. Spread the love. We are still new. All the love you can give is all the love we can take.
Yeah, we're trying to get a little attention here.
We are for fans, by fans. We are just a couple of couch potatoes that watch NASCAR that want to just share our love of talk with you about it. And hey, if you like it, just let us know in the comments below, and we'll keep bringing you more stuff to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear from you.
And I think I'm Dr. Seuss tonight.
All right, let's get to today's race, shall we?
Let's do it.
Man, it was a great race.
Yes, it was.
All right, we had lots of good side-by-side racing. Inside and outside lane would both work. We had some good bumping and banging, beating, and these guys were fighting each other. It was just some really good racing.
Oh yeah, rubbing is racing, folks, and there was a lot of rubbing going on. We got exactly what we wanted from Bristol today. A kind of wild and crazy finish that they'll be talking about for weeks. Not to mention the kind of finish is one of the reasons why that Bristol is one of the top popular tracks in the circuit.
Yeah, this race right here is why this track is so good. And in the winner's circle today, it's Brad Keselowski winning the day.
Bubba K, all the way.
Yeah, he won today's race from the pole.
Well, sort of from the pole.
Yeah, well,
really.
Technically from the pole. He didn't earn the pole with qualifying, but he started first. He started on the pole. He started out in the lead. He led pretty much the first 85 laps until Ryan Blaney comes by. His teammate was just faster than him, so he goes by, and then a few laps later after that, Chase goes by, and he ends up third in this first stage, which really isn't terrible.
No, not terrible at all. He led 115 laps on the day, not even to take away from Brad Keselowski. He himself was even surprised he won this race. If you go by some of the quotes he left us after the race, he told the reporters, "We got kind of a Christmas present here in Bristol. We'll take it." If that doesn't really tell you, he said, "We were in position and able to strike when it counted with the discount tire Ford Mustang." Joey and Chase got together there. I don't know what caused it all, but we were just in position to strike, and here we are in victory lane.
Yeah, he was in the right place at the right time. He didn't win this race so much by being the best today. He won because he survived the race.
How insane is that, though? That's like 2 out of 3 races. Same thing with Charlotte. He was in the right place at the right time to win the race.
Yeah, Kyle Busch had some early struggles, although he did manage to make it back up. Kurt Busch got caught.
Third.
Yeah, that's why I said he did manage to make it back up. Not Kyle Busch. His brother Kurt Busch, he got caught up in Stenhouse's wreck along with Reddick and Bowman, which are some good cars.
Yep, Ricky Rickhouse showed back up tonight.
Yeah, but that really wasn't necessarily his fault. Kenseth checked up in front of him because he had to, and he was able to catch that to check up himself, but Jimmy Johnson behind him didn't get the memo. and then it's all
No, he thought it was up Stenhouse's butt.
Right.
And ended there.
It's Bristol, things happen so fast. That's why we love it.
Yes,
but it takes out some good cars. Ryan Blaney, he spins out and gets wrecked. That's another good car gone.
Definitely.
Denny Hamlin at the very end, he gets spun. And then Logano and Chase, they got into it at the end. There was a lot of good cars that had issues.
But that's Bristol. That's what happens at Bristol at the end of the day.
Absolutely right. You have to survive. And Keselowski survived, and he won.
And now let's get on to the ace of the race.
Oh yes, the ace of the race. And I think we have to give this ace of the race this week to the guy that kept his car clean, the guy who stayed out of trouble at Bristol the whole day when very few guys could, and the guy who ended up lifting up the trophy, Brad Keselowski.
How do you argue with that? I mean, to recap, the guy we started on the pole. He led 115 laps. He was second to only Denny in laps led with 131. He's definitely set the pace, early in the race. He's top 10 all day. He did have some trouble in hitting restarts as the race went on, and he did say he got frustrated. To quote, I was pushing really hard and got a pit road speeding penalty and thought, I'm just digging a hole. In the end, he's exactly where he needed to be to win, and what more could you say? What argument could you really put out other than for the ace of the race than that?
No, he did his job. He didn't make any mistakes. He kept it clean. He was awesome.
And nothing more to be said. He was, Bubba K. Maximus of the day.
Well, that's about it for the ace of the race. But now let's go ahead into the bonehead of the race. This is basically the guy who blew it. Somebody who had a great opportunity and just made a bad move or did something stupid and just completely flushes the race down a toilet.
Or like took a dump on it.
Right. So who would you put in that spot today?
As much as I hate to admit it, I have to put my man Chase there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he won the first two stages. Things were looking good. He was in position to win, but he was just fighting Joey Logano so hard, and that's part of the reason that we love him so much is because he races as hard as he can, but he just went total kamikaze into that turn under Logano. There was no way he was going to hold on to that car and went up, and him and Logano were both wiped out.
I think you gotta remember Chase is young. Of course. And with young comes cocky. Not many kids his age can drive a car like that kid can do.
No.
So, I think when I was watching him today, you could see a bit of cockiness in the way he drives, because he knows he's going to put that car on the track. He knows exactly how it works, exactly what it's going to do. So today, when he was trying to pass...
I would call that cockiness more like confidence, but that's just me.
Yeah, but there's a fine line between confidence and cocky. Okay, I know the saying it ain't cocky if you back it up. But I also think humble confidence comes across a lot better than cocky arrogance.
It's a fine line.
It's definitely a fine line. But, he did fight hard for that spot, and he lost it. I mean, he said himself, as soon as I turned off the wall, I had zero chance of making it. I certainly will take the blame. I just got loose. I really felt like that was my shot. He was really good on the short run. I felt like I had to keep him right behind me there in order to win the race. With only 3 or 4 laps to go, I hate that we both wrecked. Well, on a positive note, though, at least big perspective, he had a strong day because he won the first 2 stages. But, for a car that could have won the race, once again, shoulda, woulda, coulda Chase.
Yeah.
He ended up 24th.
Yep. I think what he was trying to do was lean into Logano's car a little bit. I thought he would maybe get up a little loose. He would rub on Logano's car and use that to push him forward. But it didn't quite work out that way. And it ended up both of them in the wall and wrecking. And he comes home 22nd.
2 good cars out.
Yep. But
because Logano's out with him.
Yep, that's the story of the race. Like we said earlier, good cars dropping out. And this was Chase Elliott's. So, that is the bonehead of the race.
While we're talking about the ace of the race, I also want to give a shout out to Kyle Busch. He did start 7th, which is not a big feat and all that, but he got caught speeding on pit road early, which caused him to fall back to 31st. But throughout the race, he worked his way up. He obviously led a lot of the second half of the race and ended up finishing 3rd. Not bad for Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm. He had a good race considering he had to keep overcoming. He didn't have the best handling car, but he survived.
Nothing wrong with that, especially with the Bristol. If you can survive Bristol, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, other guys we can give a shout out. I could probably also give one to Austin Dillon for getting his 2nd straight top 10. And securing his place in the standings in the playoffs. He's
definitely a surprising top 10. It's not a name you see up there every week, so it's nice to see a new name in the top 10.
Yep.
It's time for the rookie corner. Bring it on me, baby.
Oh yeah, it's always fun going down the rookie corner. See how these young guys are doing. Well, today 2 of them got caught up in that Ricky Stenhouse incident. Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick. You know, they didn't get a chance because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and boom, wrecked, and their days are done. John Hunter Nemechek ended up 13th, which is pretty, considering the way a lot of guys went. If you rookie get out of there with a 13th place finish, you take it and go. But the best rookie of the night is easily Christopher Bell. I mean, he was running in the top 5 a good part of the race until he had that late speeding penalty, and then still raced his way back up in the top 10.
Mark my words, this rookie race is going to be between either Reddick or Bell.
Yeah, I had faith in Cole Custer, but so far he just hasn't shown anything but bad luck.
I don't know. He showed up in the Xfinity Series, but
yeah, he was one of the top guys.
Since he's shown up in the big boys, he kind of left his big boy pants in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a little bit of butterflies. Who knows what it is?
Who knows?
Hopefully he'll get his things in order, his ducks in a row, so to speak, and we'll see Cole Custer out there.
I hope so.
But right now, it's looking like Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick is going to be...
They're just going to run away with it.
It looks like they're the ones going to be the race for the Rookie of the Year.
And now, what you've all been waiting for. The money, honey. The reason we show up at the track. The championship at the end of the year. The point standings.
Yep, this is the big picture. They always say we're talking about the bigger picture. This is the bigger picture. The top 3 pretty much stays the same with Harvick, Logano, and Chase Elliott sitting 1, 2, 3 right where they were.
Don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it does not look like it. Brad Keselowski moves into 4th with his win, passing Alex Bowman with his wreck, who drops down to 5th, and he lost quite a bit of points as well. Truex and Hamlin each move up a spot over Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Busch moved up 3 spots to get into 9th with his 3rd place finish. That's why it's important that we get what we can. 3rd place gets him up there. And Kurt Busch, his brother, stays right there at 10th place. Almirola drops a couple to 11th. We have Clint Bowyer with his 2nd place finish gaining 2 spots. Matt DiBenedetto losing 2 spots because he had a broken tie rod. Eric Jones is also near the bubble. He's in 14th. Jimmy Johnson moved up from the bubble spot to 15th, moving Austin Dillon. Even with a good finish, Jimmy Johnson was just a little bit better, and Austin Dillon is on the bubble. And the bubble races is pretty close. I mean, because 13th is only 14 points ahead. So you have DiBenedetto, Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson, and Austin Dillon. They're a bad race away from being knocked out, especially when you have William Byron just 5 points out.
Anybody's race, anybody's points. It's so exciting. It's like a Las Vegas crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen after every race.
And it changes every week. Playoff points, we have to say that Chase Elliott, with his 2 stage wins, once again is leading everybody with stage wins with 5 stage wins, which equals 1 win in playoff points.
I hate to be looking into the future too much or jinx Chase Elliott. I'm telling you, I think that this championship is this kid's to lose this year.
Right.
He's going to be in there for this championship this year. Count on it.
Yep. But right now, Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski now with his win are leading stage points with 12. Denny Hamlin is 1 behind for 3rd place. And then Chase Elliott is right there in 4th. Alex Bowman is holding on to 5th, and Harvick is 6th in the playoff points.
Well, it's such an uncertain season as far as we're going for the rest of the year. It's going to be exciting to see how all this plays out.
Well, in summary, today's race, it's definitely a great race like we discussed earlier. Lots of action. You had lots of good cars, lots of good racing. Some cars wrecked. Some cars survived and made a good day out of it. You know, it was a good race. Best race of the year so far.
Always loved Bristol. Never complain about Bristol.
And like today's race, it was the Food City presents the Supermarket Heroes 500. I just like to give a little shout out to our supermarket hero, my wife. She works at a local grocery store. She's been working completely through this pandemic, a very few days off. It's been a little hectic, wouldn't you say?
A little hectic, more, some days more than others, but I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. That's all there is to it. Anyway, all that. Let's move on. Thank you for joining us here at the Tunnel Turn. If you liked our video, please like, subscribe, and share. We are still a new channel. We're still trying to get out there. So if you're liking what you're seeing and you want to see more, you've got to let us know. You've got to comment below. You've got to like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends about the Tunnel Turn. We are the fan perspective. We are for fans, by fans. It's been a rough few weeks at the Tunnel Turn, but thankfully this week we do not have a race midweek. We are wiped out. However, we want to keep dropping you content, so please expect a video sometime midweek. Make sure you're hitting that notification button so you're the first one to know when it drops.
Oh yeah. So until next time, thank you for passing through the Tunnel Turn. Have a good day.
Bye.